Leak on the beat, yo! What is up, everybody? It's your boy Kendall Burker, and I'm back with another video. As you know, if you're here, you know it KB, it's alright with me. So I have decided to make this video itself for Vlogtober. I can't really necessarily call it Vlogtober because I haven't done anything really much of October itself. But basically, as far as that, I decided to make this video to try to incorporate something in October, and it's almost Halloween. So I thought about telling basically a story time of an incident with myself that kind of was fearful itself, and I thought I want to share this to you. I believe I said this story, but I actually haven't made a video about it. So for new subscribers or new people who haven't seen this video or heard me talk about this situation, I'm going to talk about it now. So if you want to go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, more story times, please comment down below situations that you want me to tell, or if I have to tell it, I will let you know or make a video about it. But please let me know, and welcome new subscribers to the channel and stuff like that. If you want to watch anything related to this, there's a lot of videos that I put for story times. They are old itself, but I might actually get back into it because it's our stories to tell itself. But as far as that, let's hop up into this. All right, so so this story time kind of dates back to when I was in preschool itself. Long time ago. If you did not know, I did have a birthday last month. So I am 23. So the story happened when I was in pre-K, so I was about 4 and stuff like that. So I was living in my original town itself, and I went to preschool, of course, itself. It's just a crazy story. I lived in my grandparents' house. By all means, I didn't know my grandparents because they died like before. I didn't remember them, basically. I was too young to remember them. So we lived in my grandparents' house except before we moved from that house. It was me, my mom, and my 2 brothers. But the incident happened where I noticed stuff in the house that was kind of weird itself. There will be instances where my mom would leave. Like, my mom would get me breakfast in the morning because it was a time where I didn't start school. I wasn't old enough to start school yet, so I had to stay home sometimes. So my mom would go with the McDonald's to get me some breakfast before I woke up, but she didn't notice that every time she left, I seen her go out the door. So I was like, I used to be in the house by myself until she got back. And we stayed far away from McDonald's at the time period. There wasn't no McDonald's close by. So I used to just sit like really scared because I can feel like something was in this house bothering, like just roaming around and stuff and everything. I ended up telling my mom about it, but my mom was more like, it was our grandparents, it's your grandparents. That's more like that itself because they passed away in this house. So that's the reason why. They said they're probably just going around doing stuff, but the stuff that I noticed was kind of still weird itself. And I'm gonna get into that. So I used to notice stuff like spoons and forks missing like certain times of the day, and it would come back. Just random like breathing, random stuff that's in the house. And also I used to my mom taught my brothers early about getting stuff out for school. Like, if I want to wear a certain outfit, she would iron it for me. So I went into my clothes basket, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get these clothes out for tonight. So I was looking through my clothes basket, and I moved my basket from where my bed was to like the room door, and then I would leave to give her my outfit. But then I would come back and my clothes basket was back to the original like area, and I would go and ask my brothers like, hey, did you move this or did you move this? It was like, no, we wasn't in the room. So that would really got me more scared because I was like, I just seen my mom, and I asked her, even though I just gave her the clothes, I was like, Mom, did you move my basket? She was like, no, you just gave me your clothes, so type thing. So that really kind of got my suspicions and stuff. And I hated sleeping by myself, especially when my brother used to have sleepovers. Like, he'd go to someone's house and I'll be in the room by myself. it was kind of a bad house. But my mind wasn't stuck on that. I could just feel like something was wrong. But this was the last kind of thing that happened to me before we left that house. I was in preschool. I used to get out of school really early, so I want to say I'll probably get out like maybe 1:30 or 2 o'clock. So the gist was I get picked up by one of my aunties, and I get taken home. She told me that my mom would be at work, and my older brother, one of my oldest brothers, would be at work too. So my cousins, like 2 or 3 of my cousins, supposed to be watching me until my mom gets home. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I'm excited because I like hanging around my cousins at that age and stuff like that. So I got home, I got dropped off. My auntie didn't hesitate to kind of just drop me off, and she was like, just stay in the house. They should be in there. So I look around the whole house itself. My cousins are not there, and I'm just kind of just nervous because, like I said, I kind of felt something in that house that was kind of like unsettling itself. So I kind of just looked. I went in and out my mom's room, my oldest brother's room, my room, the kitchen, the living room, trying to look for people, and I could not find nobody. I went outside. I went to the backyard where our dog was, and nobody. I could not find anybody. So it was getting to the point where it was kind of like a little bit. It was getting a lot spooky itself, because my oldest brother loved watching scary movies as a kid, so that kind of made me feel some way, especially with ghost stories. But basically, then I didn't know what to do because I'm 4 years old. I don't know. I had neighbors, but they wasn't home. So I would just go to a neighbor's house and just like, hey, can I sit here until my mom gets back? There was nobody home. So I was like, okay, what I'm supposed to do? And so I kind of stood in the house, but I felt unsettled. Like I could hear like something breathing like near me itself, but nothing happened. So this was the point where I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. I gotta leave this house. I cannot stay here. So that's my instincts kind of kicked in. My mom, I knew how to get to my mom's job because my mom used to always take me there like days that I didn't go to school, or either when I got out of school, she would take me like to her job to go pick up like a check or something like that. So I remember how to get from our house to there. Surprisingly, I'm almost 4 years old, or I believe I am 4. I got a Pokemon bicycle for Christmas, so I literally got on my bicycle and tried to go to my mom's job, ride to my mom's job. And that, like, literally by car, it would have took you probably like 15 to 20 minutes and stuff like that. So I got on my bicycle to go there and everything. And then people, like adults, were looking at me through their cars like it's a little kid. Like I was small as crap, like riding a bicycle, stopping at stop signs, looking both ways. Like I knew what to do because how early my mom taught me it. So eventually I get close to one of my auntie's house, and this man looks at me on the bicycle and like just jumps out from like in front of my bicycle and was like, hey, where you going, little boy? And my head, I was like, okay, no, like I don't know you. Please get away from me. I'm just trying to get to my mom itself. Cause my mom told me not to talk to strangers, so I instantly start backing up and finna get ready to take off on my bicycle. So that's what I didn't know and everything. So then, I'm guessing it was his wife who kind of brought it to my son. She asked me like, son, are you lost? I was like, no, I'm not lost. I just need to get to my mom. And then they proceeded. I didn't really want to talk. I just wanted to go, but I kind of felt like it was still kind of rude just to duck off. I like, don't talk to strangers, but it's rude if they're asking you a question, especially if it's kind of concerned you getting help. So I was like, I was still trying to ease back, but I was still answering the questions. So the lady was like, where's your mom? I was like, she's at work. She was like, so they asked me, why are you riding your bicycle to your mom's house? I was like, I'm afraid to be home by myself. And then that's where immediately they went into a panic mode, because it's like, you're that young and you stay this distance and there's no one home with you itself. So they instantly asked me to come in, but I did not want to come in itself. And I told them, I was like, and then I looked down the road and I see my auntie's house. I was like, well, my auntie stayed literally a couple, like almost a block away itself. If you can like contact my auntie or something like that, that would be good. So the lady steadily trying to contact my mom. Like I said, there was a time where cell phones, like we had cell phones, but we had more like house phones, so they had to call on their house phone and go inside. So we had those. I didn't know the number to the job she worked at, and my instinct was maybe it's in the phone book, you know, the yellow pages type thing. So real old school type junk. So we tried to look up the number in yellow pages and stuff. The restaurant did not come into the yellow pages. Then finally they got in contact with my auntie, because I described the house that she lived in, and my auntie came to pick me up, and I eventually went to my auntie's house. And when my mom got off of work, she came to pick me up, and she asked me what happened, why did you leave the house, and such. I explained to her I felt uneasy with the house. There was something in the house bothering me, and my so-called cousins that's supposed to be watching me are not there at all itself. So my mom was highly pissed, but she was also astounded because how mature I was at that age, because I left home. I knew how to get to the job, especially if it's 15 or 20 minutes away. I learned how to talk to strangers. I kind of kept myself in a position itself, and I learned to like how to try to get in contact with somebody itself and everything. She was a little nervous that she said that I brought up the situation again about something is in that house itself. So that was more of the reason why. But turns to find out, my mom ended up getting in contact with my cousin that's supposed to be watching me. They came to the house when I got home. It was like, hey, where did you go? I was like, I left. Y'all wasn't here, and I was scared. Itself, the neighbors wasn't home. Nobody near that can help me, so I thought, get on my bicycle and go to my mom's job. Itself, my mama gave my cousins the business, cussing and everything out the way itself. I knew the bad words. I know I wasn't supposed to say them itself, but it was funny, because it's like they getting chewed out because they went around the corner to do something. Can't tell you what. I think it's like to get some weed or something like that, or whatever itself. Because they were like teenagers, almost like in their like young teenagers. They're like almost in their 20s or in their 20s, early 20s or something like that. They were supposed to be watching me and everything. So my mama got chewed them out, and she ended up telling the story to my older brother and to my middle brother, and they were just like, wow, you really knew how to get to that job and everything. I was like, yeah, I've been there enough and everything. That's why it was never really hard for me to actually to get to places in my hometown, just because if I write them just enough, I remember landmarks itself. So once I remember like landmarks and how far I went down a road, or this house color, that's house color, oh, but this one has a fire, like little simple stuff like that helped me actually remember stuff in my hometown. And that's why it was more helpful when I got older, because when I actually got my driver's license, I was able to know different places in my hometown, because I remember landmarks. So when someone tells me like a street, I don't remember streets. If you tell me what the landmark is and what color the house is, I'll probably find it faster that way than rather trying to look up the road and stuff like that and everything. Because I know about the ins and out of my hometown. It's the fact, describe a landmark. If you tell me, oh, I live here on such and such street, I probably won't know, but if you describe it. But yeah, anyway, that was the basic of the scary story. I did live in a house that was more so, I guess, ghost or haunted itself. Mom still figures it was my grandparents, because like I said, I don't remember them, and they did pass away in that house itself, so I'm not sure. But they end up, I've been to the house again like some years later. They end up repainting it itself, because it was an really old house itself. So I don't think the problem that's going on with it are there anymore itself. Or maybe I was, like I said, I don't know and everything. Maybe it's not a problem about the situation, or either I was just being really paranoid because I was by myself all the time. Who knows itself. But that, it was an experience, especially for me to be that young and know that much. Kind of proud of myself. I might just say that. So that I will kind of just leave off with that itself. Just know, like, if, like, I was taught a lot of stuff very young, especially when it comes to like responsibilities and know what to do in certain situations itself. So I would actually, it was actually pretty smart to actually do all of that stuff and everything. Try to look for, like, for me to be that age, I instantly look, okay, I got a transportation to take me here. But first, let me contact the neighbors. Let me check the neighbors that I knew, knock on their doors to see if I can stay there until my mom gets here. If not, I didn't know any numbers, so I couldn't call anybody. And I was kind of a smart boy, but not that smart to remember numbers. I remember the phone book because my mom used to always look up stuff in case we needed to find like a shop or something in town just to see like if they sold stuff. But yeah, as far as that, pretty smart boy and everything. It's more that it's more in a funny sense to me because I knew how small I was. So to me to be that small riding on a bike, I rode a giant bicycle. I was fast. I was a fast learner when it comes to a bicycle. So I took off the training wheels before I even hit 4 years old and stuff like that. Like I was ready to ride a bicycle. I used to ride bicycles that was like 10 times bigger than my whole body and stuff like that. But I rode them. So, but yeah, I just find it very funny because I went through that experience with that type of stuff, and also the way my size was and how the story went. It's like I actually left home to go find my mom, and I know how to get there. So it's like, wow. But as far as that, that's basically my scary story about a time where I felt there was some type of spirit or something in my house, and it kind of like did certain things. Cause at that age I did have nightmares about like stuff like going on in the house and everything, and I didn't know if it was like something related to that. So I don't know for sure and everything, or either like I said, I could have just been really paranoid because like I said, I wasn't used to being left alone by myself, especially at that young age. So can you really blame me? So as far as that, I hope that y'all enjoy it. I hope that y'all enjoyed the little story time itself. Like I said, I just wanted to share this with you. It's more of a thing since it's October and it's almost the end of October, more of a scary type mood itself and everything. Try to give out October the best feeling how it could be itself. Like I said, the story is I tell so many people that, like, as far as like people dealing with like paranormal stuff and everything like that, like I said, I still don't know what it was and everything. Like I said, paranoia, or either it could have really been my grandparents, because in retrospect nothing really happened as far as like anything getting hurt to me or anything like done to me, but it was just weird stuff that happened that I just picked up on. That was my only thing that kind of bothered me. I heard breathing, but it's not necessarily like something happened, like done anything to me. I don't know and everything. Maybe it's just a thing that it just don't do anything to kids. So I don't know and everything. Like I said, that was a long time ago. Nothing happened since then itself. So we all good and everything. We eventually end up moving out the house anyway. Not too long after that incident had happened, just because there was no way for my mom and my brother to always keep somebody to watch, so that's why my auntie started watching me some point, so that type of stuff won't happen again, like someone at least would be home when I get out of school. So but anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you believe this story is crazy itself, it really is, and stuff like that. If you want any more stories like this, please comment down below itself. Like I said, I've done plenty of story times on this channel. Really all this probably when I first started this channel back in 2018, 19 itself. So I gotta look back at what videos I did so I don't redo them again unless you want it retold, but not necessarily if it's already posted. But as far as that, I hope that y'all enjoy, and I will see y'all next time. So that's on period. Bye guys.